Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you have never seen me before, my name is Rilo, and today, as you can tell with the voiceover, we are going to do my second review or like a follow-up review of Painted. And so I just kind of started rolling and started playing around with the makeup, and what I started doing was this koi fish. You'll see here in a minute. Please ignore the sketches that I did on my face because it will look quite inappropriate, but we just leave it be. Going straight in with the products that I loved. So first thing that I loved and that I would definitely consider repurchasing is the beauty sponge, because I love how big it is, how soft it is, just how, I don't know, out of the ordinary, I guess I feel like it was, because I haven't ever had a beauty blender or beauty sponge be that massive, and I had so much fun with it. I would definitely repurchase it. The only downside to that is that I feel like it won't ever be as clean as it once was, which, yes, it's a sponge, but it just creates that stark contrast from your makeup to a completely white sponge. So I would still definitely repurchase it, but keeping that in mind that it will always look dirty even if you cleaned it. Going into the next thing that I do love is the black pigment. I definitely used a lot of it during this little play around session. Having this specific Create paint in your everyday kind of makeup bag, in your toolkit, kind of anything like that, I would personally recommend. I loved how it glides on. I love the pigment. There's not really many complaints about this pigment specifically because I just enjoyed it so much. You can't really get a highly pigmented black like this one at this price point. I was expecting a little bit more pigment in the tube, but I'll get into that later. But with how easy it glides on your skin, for your eyeliner, for your inner corners, I really have no complaints about this, and I will be using this until it's gone, and I will probably buy another one in the restock. Now I want to talk a little bit about the brushes. I do primarily use them in this video because I wanted to have a better feel for them and how they really held up for using the Create paint specifically on creative makeup, on face makeup, on kind of anything like that. And I think they're great in the sense that they're brushes and they do what they're meant to do. My only downside about these brushes is that the bristles or the very end point is stark white. Again, I understand that's like his branding, his logo, it goes with kind of everything, but after using these Create paints, no matter how hard I cleaned them, they were always just stained, and they will never really go back to that stark white, and they will never look 100% clean. So even if it was just like a little darker, maybe having it look a little bit more like a paintbrush, I think could have improved the way you see these tools, just because it wouldn't look as dirty and would look more purposeful. Overall, on the brushes, I don't think I would necessarily repurchase them, but they are a great addition to my collection now. I just believe that there's probably another type of brush or another company that I can get the exact same brush and probably feel happier with. I do like the idea of having actual paintbrush hairs in it. I feel like that could possibly contribute to the way that it was easy to do creative makeup or kind of anything like that. Now onto the actual Create paints themselves. I honestly, I don't know if the reviews, are lying, or I'm not sure what's happening, if I'm using them wrong, or there's something, possibly user error, but I don't believe that these are beginner friendly by any means, because you'll see here in a minute, I use the brown and the brown shade only to do sort of like a smoky eye, like a neutral smoky eye, and I was having such a hard time blending. I used like 5 different brushes to try and make it look smooth as if it were powder, like James says on his branding and kind of how he promotes it, but it is definitely patchy. I wasn't able to like get it all to like a nice like smoky eye. So I would love to try it again if you guys want a video on that, but I really wasn't impressed. On to the other colors. Yellow, no. It's a hard no for me. I did not enjoy it. I do not like how it sits on the skin. I do not like that it cracks, it doesn't last, it smears. It's just an overall no. I'm not interested. The other colors, however, don't have that problem. The only issue that I have with the other colors is that they don't stay as vibrant as when they are first applied, which, yes, it's a given, they dry down too matte, but through the duration of doing this koi fish, I had to go over the orange and the mixed, like the lighter orange, like 3 or 4 times to get to a point where I was happy with it and to the vibrancy that I wanted. I understand that it won't be as in your face because it is matte, but still, they're pretty transparent. And on that note, the white, I really wasn't impressed with. I used it for a look that will be posted to my Instagram here shortly. It was an orange, blue, and a white look, and the white really just, it wasn't as thick or as opaque as I had wanted it to be. The way James had portrayed this white was that it's the best white on the market. And yes, he is a bias because he did put out this company, but I find it to be very transparent. I have to go over it multiple times, and once it's layered quite a few times, it does start to crack. That could also be my fault with the multiple layers, but I just wasn't getting that opaqueness that I wanted for a liner, for a detail around my eye look that will be posted here shortly. But overall, I think that it was a good first launch. I am not a hater by any means, but I believe that this is definitely a learning opportunity and a stepping stone to making the best products there possibly could be, because I believe that there is definitely only improvement from here. Another thing that I just remembered are the tubes. So if you saw my last video, they were exploding. Yes, it's a given that'll happen going from sea level, being packaged at sea level, and then being shipped to altitude or kind of higher altitudes like Colorado is, but they are also half empty, I've noticed. I understand packaging and you can't fill it to the brim, but I was expecting just a little bit more with the $15 price point, but we shall see. I'm definitely going to use all of the product until they die, but overall, this is the final look. I hope that this is very educational and informative because I think James did a really great job with his first ever makeup launch, but I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to follow all my socials, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!